in today's video we're going to continue on the work on sort of bringing this back to life using Fusion and a resin printer for the ridge tiles for this section of the roof. And then here you can see the model as it's being progressed after a bit of 3D printing and then some spraying up. So here in Fusion you can see the finished model, and this is the timeline for that model. So I'm now going to go through the creation of it. I'm going to create a new sketch. I'll do a hybrid because that's what I'm used to using. And then the first thing I'm going to do is create a new sketch, and I create it on this plane. So because I don't know the height or the angle of the roof, I'm going to start off, I did some measurements, and I need a line, and I need it to be a construction line, and I know I need it to be 60. Obviously, if you can move this around, but if you snap it and I want it at 0 degrees, then press enter. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I want a midpoint constraint. I'll go to here, click on here, and I'll put it on the origin. I may as well press escape, move this down out the way. I then need another construction line, and I know the height of the roof angle was 25 millimeters. Again, I'm going to press enter. I'll just move that out the way. And then I need another construction line that goes from here to here, and another one from here to here. So this allows me now to draw the start of the ridge tile. And the next thing I'm going to do is draw another line. This time it's not going to be a construction line. And I'm going to draw it, start at the top there, go along here 3 millimeters and press enter. I'm then going to draw another line down from here, again along that, and 3 millimeters. Obviously I'll move these out the way. Then the next thing I need is an offset plane, and I want it to offset on here, and I want to pull it out 0.8 of a millimeter. Press enter. Another line from here to here and here to here. So that's giving me the end view of the ridge tile for now. The next thing I want to do is another construction line. So what I'm going to do is create an offset of this one. So if we go to offset and we highlight this, and this time I want it to be symmetrical, and I'm going to pull it out this way a little bit, and I want that to be 0.4. Again, I need it to be a construction line, and click OK. But I then want to click on this point here and pull it up so it meets these 2 points. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go up to here, and I want a 2-point rectangle. I don't want a construction line, and I draw the box up here. So I want this to be 4 millimeters. Now I'm going a little bit oversized because I like to be able to see the model from a distance. And then obviously we know we want this to be 0.8, 4, and then tab, and we want the other one to be 0.8. Press enter. So now we've got the height of it. The next thing I will do is I will delete this section here, and this will come up apparent next. We will see some warnings now because before it was going to be a constrained sketch. I'm not really worried about that. So if I turn off the dimensions, obviously now you can see what we've got here. So at this point I'm going to complete the sketch, so click finish. I'm then going to go to extrude, and I'm going to extrude this one here. I'm going to pull it this way so it's reading a minus number, and I want -5. That's going to be the width of each of the ridge tiles. And click OK. Turn the sketch back on. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do another extrude, but this time it's this one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an offset, and the offset is going to be, I'll just delete these, minus 0.4, and the distance is going to be minus 4.2. So that's just starting it slightly in for here and then not going the full extent there, which allows me to sort of keep the top of the ridges separate. So I'm going to click OK, and I do want it as a join. The next thing I'll do, I'll just turn off this sketch because we don't really need to see that, but I want to now create a sketch on this place here. So I'll click it and go to create sketch. Obviously it disappears to the origin point. So I need to be able to draw on here the shape that I'm going to use. So I need to be able to do some construction lines. So I'll go from the corner here down to this point here. And then another one from here to here. Then what I want is a circle. Now obviously it depends on what shapes you want, but I don't want it as a construction line. I'm going to put a hole in it, and I want this to be 1.2. Now I'll make it 1.4. Click OK. I also need some more construction lines now, because I want to put a construction line across here, and I want that to be a distance from the top, so from here to here, of 0.4, sorry, 0.8. And then another one from here down to here, one from here to here, and again this is going to be the same again, 0.8, 0.8. And there may be quicker ways of doing this. I'm still experimenting, learning what I can achieve with it. The next thing I'm going to go is another circle. Don't want a construction, and I want to make sure that I'm on this point here, and I just want that to go to here. That's one of them, and the next one from here to here. Again, you can see I didn't get the clicking right, so Control Z or Z, press that twice, and I'll redo it again. So you do need to be careful to make sure you're clicking in the right places. Then I'm going to scroll back out again. I'll put another construction line in across here, and at this time I'm going to put the distance from here to here as 0.4. So what I'm now going to do, I'm going to create an arc, which is going to be a 3-point arc. I'm going to go from here. Again, I want to turn off construction. So I'm going from there, and I'll zoom in to make sure we're going to the right place. I'm going to pull it to the midpoint. Now you can see it's put some tangents in. These should be tangents as well, but this is all I need for this part of the thing. So I'm now going to close the sketch. Screw to there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude, and I want to choose here, 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 and here, and I'm going to do a cut. I'm just going to move it back 0.8. So at this point now, you can see we've got what we require here. So the next thing I'm going to do, I want to put some chamfers here. So you can see a bit of what looks like a gap. So I want to do the chamfer tool. I want to go here, 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 one more. So make sure I've selected 5 edges up to now. I'm going to click up here just to allow me to click on that, and I'm going to go with 0.3. Now it says there's an error, so that's because I forgot the decimal place. So now you can see we've got that feature now how we want it. So at this point I'm going to click OK, because that's our base tile. Okay, so we're going to go to create, and we're going to do the pattern, and we're going to do a rectangle pattern, and it's already gone to body, so we're going to select the object. So it's this object here. We're going to select the axis, which is this point here. We're not going to go to the extent, we're going to go to spacing. I need a quantity for this model of 22. So I've now got to show it we're going in this direction, and here the distance needs to be 5 millimeters. I'm happy with what we've got there, so we now click OK. So if I scroll out a little bit more, the next thing that I'm going to do, if you look up here, we've got lots of bodies. So I'm going to go to here and click Combine. Select the target body. I'm going to make that the target body. And when we go to the selection tool here, I'm going to drag and drop all of it. So here you'll see it's now said, well, you've selected another 21 models. And I'm going to, in this case, create a new component. I don't keep the tool chain and click OK. So now you can see that's my complete model. The next thing I would do is go to Utilities and to Make. And then it's asking me to export. And I'm going to say, select the object. And if we come down to here, I'm going to select this component body and click OK. And then you'll see it's automatically named the component body or component 1. You call it what you wish, and then click on Save.